again. It's on, you guys. Welcome to Sex Talk with Graye right here on WEMS Radio. Happy Tuesday, people. I hope you all came in with open minds, open hearts. Get your wine, put the kids to bed. It's time to have a good time, you guys. I have a fantastic guest in the building with me tonight, Miss Sexpert herself and the author of The Other Woman Code of Conduct. KiKi Richardson is in the building. Come on in, KiKi.
Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me to the show. I just wanted to shout out my people on Instagram. Come over to YouTube. Check us out. Sex Talk with Graye.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining me. I wholeheartedly appreciate it. I'm trying to tell you, you keep me entertained on the regular and educated. Thank you.
Well, I had to give you a little bit of information before this show, right?
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate it. Let's talk about the first thing I learned from you. Yesterday was steak and blowjob day. Who knew?
Yes. There is an actual holiday. You got to keep it spicy.
Yes,
it's real.
It was so. What kind of steak was you making yesterday? I mean, let's tell the people. Did you prepare a steak yesterday?
Look, I gave up meat for Lent.
Amen.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I really didn't. I would include all kinds of meat. I didn't get meat.
It's okay. It's okay. But I think that's just an interesting. I think that it's an interesting topic, though, for the mindset that the Valentine's is for the women, so that the men went and said, "Hey, we have to have our own holiday." I've never been one to concede to Valentine's Day being just for women, but I get it. Steak and a blowjob, and how you might like your steak might have something to do with how you like your blowjob. I mean,
Well, I hope they don't want it rare. They want it well done.
There are some out there. There are some out there.
It better be well done. It better be well done.
Now, if I had to liken my steak to my head, well would be, especially Black folks, we don't like no pink in the center, but well would be, theoretically, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and slide in with the medium well, because I need that thing to be extra juicy. Extra juicy.
Well, just because it's well done doesn't mean that it's dry. It's all in the presentation and the preparation, as with everything else.
Amen. So let's get into this book, The Other Woman Code of Conduct. What was important to you about what you needed to convey in this book? And then what is it important for us to learn from you?
Well, initially what prompted me to write the book is because I was just watching all these celebrities getting caught out here in the streets. See, thank goodness there was no such thing as TMZ when I was out here, doing my thing, and there was no blogs and all that. So I had to kind of switch things up. Not to say that I was the other woman or anything like that, but I'm just saying these other women they're getting a little beside themselves. They pretend like they're the main one. And it's like, yo, no. There is a code, and you need to know the code. And some people are not meant to be the other woman. And again, the book is named The Other Woman Code of Conduct, but the subtitle is What Every Other Woman Should Know, and Men Too, because women don't own the franchise in cheating. Statistically, men and women cheat the same. Women just get caught 50% less.
Yes.
So
we are better at
it. So with that, what I wanted to convey basically was follow the rules. And if you can't follow the rules, don't get in the game.
There you go. If you can't follow the rules, don't get in the game. First off, we got to put that shit on the shirt. Okay, we haven't had that shit on the shirt moment, I think, all 2022, you guys. If you can't follow the rules, don't get in the game. Stay your ass.
Stay your ass on the bench, because you do not belong in this game, honey. Because the game will play you. And it's a lot of folks out here giving the game a black eye because they're not doing it. They're not doing it. There used to be a time when old dudes, the old cats, they have a whole other family on the other side of town.
Indeed,
A
indeed.
whole other,
Some
and the
still
only way
do.
you found out, the only way funeral, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all the
I
kids coming
know
out
a dude.
upset because they not on the obituary.
Right. I know a guy right now with two families. I'm like, how did you had one baby? The woman stayed. He still went and had another. I said, who does that? But
Hey,
that is that
labor.
is reality for a lot of people, and it is unfortunate. But in speaking to just having a code of conduct and how we operate as women, as the other woman, how do you think that translates over to the bedroom? Because a lot of thing behind being the other woman is you provide something that the first woman or main woman or first two or three women aren't. Do you think that that should still be the other woman's role to provide what someone else is missing?
Well, here's the thing. As the woman or the other man on the side, you have to determine for yourself, first of all, why you in the situation, right? What am I in it for? If you in it because you trying to wait the main person out, get out the game because you already, where's my whistle? Foul, right? Flag on the play, something, you know what I mean? You already
Right,
out of line.
right.
But if you're in it because you just want companionship, you want, as I call in the book, intimacy without intricacy, right?
Hmm.
If you
Hmm.
want that, then you behave accordingly, right? But if you in it for the money, you need to do what you got to do for the money, right? I
Yeah.
don't I don't have any problems with women getting paid or fellas getting paid for their services because it's the oldest profession out there. And
Yeah.
here's the thing: I'm not going to hate on somebody making money for getting theirs, right? Because it's a whole bunch of
Mhm.
people. Can I curse on this show?
By all means, have fun.
Okay, yeah, because it's a whole lot of people out here fucking for free. And why do that?
Yeah.
All you getting is a wet ass? I don't think so.
Why do that? Oh, you're speaking to my heart, KiKi. Why,
Don't
why do
hashtag
that?
fuck for free.
Yes. So I don't necessarily I don't feel like if I'm your side chick, I don't want to give you main chick pussy. I don't want to give you pussy so good that you want to marry it, you want to stay in it, and you want to have it every day. You want me to be responsible for everything. I don't want you to be in it. I don't want it to be that good. I want it to be just good enough that you still want to see me again and take care of my whatever my needs are, meet me halfway. But I don't even know if I want to give you main chick pussy. A lot of people out here giving out all this A plus, but they're not getting A plus advantages. They're
And
giving
here's
out the
also
best of themselves, the best head they ever
yeah.
had in their life, the best sex, the best whatever. But you're getting D minus back. You're getting D plus back. You're not. It's definitely unequivocal
Mhm.
in what you receive.
And then there are a lot of people who are out, a lot of guys out here, and this is what prompted the book really,
Mhm.
because there are a lot of people who have the other person on the side. They get the
Mhm.
game twisted. You
Yeah.
can't do boyfriend shit and you got enough, you married. You need
Right.
to make your lines very clear in the sand. Your words and your actions need to be consistent, not just in a other woman situation, but
Mhm.
in relationships in general.
Mhm.
Your words and your actions need to be consistent. People walk around using that adage, actions speak louder than words. No, they don't. That's where we got the game twisted. Your words and your actions need to be consistent. And if they are not, there's a level of deception there. And the deception may not even be malicious, right? It
Mhm.
might
Mhm.
be they're confused. You know what I
Right.
mean? It might be something. But the reality is when they don't go together, then you need to pump your brakes and kind of reevaluate why you there.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. So we're going to jump into just a little bit of this sexual conversation because KiKi is a sex expert, you guys, and we want to make sure we get well educated today. Okay. Um, when you think of sex for yourself, what are some of the first few words that come to mind?
Release, peace, fun, euphoria, connectedness.
Mhm. And out of those
Just to name.
things, is there one that's most important to you?
Well, it depends on my mood.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
sometimes I'm in the mood for just the release, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me get mine, you get yours, and go on about your business, right? And
Right.
then sometimes it's the connectedness. You want to have the whole experience from foreplay all the way, through and maybe in around 2 or 3 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it's a pain reliever. because I have migraines, and migraine
Yeah.
and sex is orgasms help to alleviate pain.
Yes.
Because you want to do that because your endorphins are going and serotonin levels are rising. You have all these chemical reactions happening in your body, so it helps to release pain.
And so a lot of people do overlook having fantastic orgasms and what that really means and what it can really do for your body.
Mm-hmm.
Not only, sex will do that, masturbation, of course, is super healthy, but so statistically, it's only what, like 33% of women that can actually have orgasm. What advice would you give to a woman who has not had that experience yet? What are some things that she could try to maybe reach that perfect climax?
Well, I would say for women who experience difficulty orgasming, um, the 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 orgasm doesn't start with your body. The orgasm starts in your mind. So
Mhm.
make sure that your mind is right. And I don't necessarily mean that, oh, you're tuned into that moment. You need
Mhm.
to make sure whatever things that you have that are cluttering up your mind, that's what's causing a blockage in your ability to be able to have an orgasm, because that's the first step. I always say to people, mental course, right? That
Yeah.
precedes intercourse. So, and that's the key to women, right? Our thing is, if you can make love to our mind, our body will follow, right? So make sure that your mind is clear. Because we have been conditioned in a lot of ways about how we think and view sex, and our ways, and how we view ourselves with sex, right? We've
Mhm.
been conditioned by the church. The grandmas in the neighborhood done told us this, good girls don't, bad girls do, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, right? Oh
Yeah.
wow, only hoes do that, and all that other stuff with these labels, and we have internalized that, and we
Mhm.
believe that about ourselves if we do these things. And so with all these blockages, we're causing ourselves our own dysfunction. It's not
Mhm.
without, it's within. So clear your mind.
Yes. Have you ever been in that position when you were younger, or even growing into an adult woman? Have you ever had that situation where you had a blockage or you had something that you had to get past to reach, um, I guess, a different level of your sexual experience or just learning your sexual self? Any challenges?
Well, I've never really had any blockages. I've always been pretty much clear about my sexuality and clear
Mhm.
about the power of my sexual energy. That's
Mhm.
never been a question for me. But I do understand I had to retrain myself and recondition my brain in terms of allowing labels to identify and say who I am.
Mhm.
So once I was able to do that, please, it was off to the races. I have a wonderful sex life. You know what I mean? And it's because, one, I think I have an innate ability to pick good partners.
Yes,
And
that's
that's
important.
half the battle. That's half the battle.
That's important. And so I feel like that's not necessarily something that can be taught, but I do believe it needs to be learned, because a
Mhm.
lot of times we are not evenly yoked sexually, or you pick a partner that is not your sexual match. I talk a lot sometimes about understanding when it's time to throw in the sexual towel. When you do have a partner that's not necessarily your match, you've tried, you've talked, you've communicated, you've counseled, you've educated, and it's not working. Like, it's okay to say, you know what, this is not a good fit for me. But what are some of the things that you look for, or even just how do you go about this process of saying, you know what, this is a good match for me?
Well, part of it is not something that I can say is tangible, right? Some of it is energy. I'm very in tune with energy,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a certain, as I've coined the phrase, manergy, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
man energy that comes off of a man that that you just cannot deny, right? It's the kind of energy that even when he walks in the room, other dudes, straight, no homo,
Yeah,
they're like, what's up with that cat, right? That kind
yeah,
of energy. I'm initially attracted to that. But having a conversation with somebody will oftentimes give you all the clues that you want to know about what kind of person that you're being with. It doesn't have to be a raunchy, or it doesn't have to be, phone sex. But
Mm-hmm.
having those conversations, asking the questions that things that you're interested in doing, right?
Right.
Or things that
Right.
you're not interested in doing. Don't be afraid to say, I'm not interested in that, or I've never tried that, or I was thinking about trying that. I just didn't trust anybody to do it. So for me, it's been one of those things where it's about energy and
Mhm.
conversation and getting to understand how they roll sexually. I've had one indication one time in my life where I misjudged, and it was early on, honey. And let me tell you, I don't have a poker face, okay? I don't have a poker face at all. So I was just like, just let me know when you're done.
Right.
I
So
mean, I
I know.
literally said those words. I did.
That's funny. So I've had a man ask me before, prior to us even being intimate, essentially asked me to fake it. And he said, if it's not really going well, but you see that the man is doing the best that he can, or he's really putting his all into, are you gonna make him feel like he's the man, or are you going to not necessarily give him a certain type of response? I said, well, what do you mean? I said, do you mean am I going to fake it to make him think that he's better? And he was like, yeah, because no man really wants to leave the bedroom feeling like or thinking that they didn't do it. I said, hell no, I'm not doing that. What you need to do
No.
is know that it's not good, because I need you to get better. And I need you to get better next time. And I need you to get better. I need you to put your whole foot in this pussy if necessary. I need you to break your entire back. I don't want you
Mhm.
to think that this lapsadaisical sideline dick is okay with me or any woman past me, because
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
would rather you learn it here and then get better next time once I'm finished
See,
with
I'm
your
not one of those. I'm not one of those. I tell people all the time, this is where you end up. This ain't where you start. Because see, I'll fuck up your whole understanding about it, right? You can't
Mhm.
start here. There are
Right.
prerequisites. There's levels to this shit. You start here, you go out in the street and you expecting this everywhere, and you're not gonna get it. And so now you're gonna be walking around like a crackhead because you can't get that hit, like the high that you normally get. So you end up, you go through what you're going through, and then you end up in the land of here because now you're ready to handle it. But you can't start here. You can't start here. No, but I don't believe in faking, and I don't believe. I believe you doing a disservice to that man. I'm not saying
Exactly.
you have to break his spirit. I don't believe that
Right.
you need to emasculate him in order to get him to perform in a way that is pleasing to you. There's a way to have that conversation with somebody,
Right.
even in the moment. There are things that you can say. You can direct, you don't have to be boot camp, but you can
Right. Exactly.
definitely, tell them what to do, or, take charge. Hell, take charge.
Yes. Show them what you're working with. Show them what you're working with. Indeed. So for 2022, you guys, we are talking about our sexual bucket list. And if you're not familiar with what a bucket list is, of course, these are things you want to do before you die, but have you apply that to your sex life? So, KiKi, if you had to put something on your sexual bucket list, now let's never mind the fact that you having a fantastic sex life and you picking all the fantastic partners, and this shit been popping since the day you started. You have to put something on your sexual bucket list that you want to make sure you do before you die, or you just want to try and or do again. What would that be?
Hmm. Let me see. um, I actually wrote a book called the Fuck It Bucket List. But
Okay. Oh, shit, I
yeah,
didn't feel it. I promise you I did.
no, it's okay. No, it's good. It's got actual, like, it's interactive. You can put stickers on the things that you've actually done and all that other stuff, so you can know that you've actually checked off those things. But for me, what would be on my bucket list, or who? No, what?
Hey, talk all of it. All of it. Let
Let's
me
see.
look. That's a whole
Let's
nother
see.
question for me. Who
Whole
would
nother
I want to
conversation
fuck before
altogether.
I
But
die? Who would
what
I
would
date
be on my bucket
before he
list would
died?
probably be, again, I would say, to do again,
Mhm.
completely in public, uninhibited.
Okay. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A little voyeurism. See these cheeks.
Exhibitionism. Yeah. Yeah. Work it out. Maybe so, it could be on display. Let somebody else learn something.
And so I like the idea of voyeurism.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I like it. I think maybe just it's just the excitement. One that somebody could see you, but especially if you're in a public place, like you just waiting on somebody to walk by to be like, dang. Like I just want somebody to walk by and be like, no, she taking that dick. Like,
Or be like this.
like I'm serious. I just want somebody to be got me in that moment. Like she's amazing. Swear to God. Just see my skills. Just one time. Right now it's a
Or
secret.
even take requests.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm serious. I'm adding to the list now. Now you don't put it in my brain. Now add it to the list.
yes.
So if it were
Yes.
public and it could be like interactive.
Ooh, shout it out. What you want to see? Yeah. I'm not saying I would try it, but I might. I mean, the Lord created OnlyFans for a reason. I know y'all think the Lord didn't, but He did because people are making very nice coin. He created OnlyFans for a reason. If you see your girl T Graye on there, just shout a girl
My
out.
face. My face.
She's so silly. So, in your sexual relationships, when is it that you feel most powerful? I know a lot of times, as women, when it comes to sex, we are more submissive. Some women are more submissive or more docile. But in the vein of being, strong and aggressive and things like that, when do you feel most powerful in the bedroom?
It's actually when I am being submissive. I am a submissive. So I'm boss and aggressive in every other aspect of my life. And sometimes I just need to just be told what to do.
Right.
Sometimes I just need to be a lady and allow somebody else to take charge. Now, don't get it twisted. I will take what I want, but I feel my most power because there's power in submission because there's a certain level of restraint. There's a
Uh-huh.
certain level of discipline that
Hmm.
has to take place. So definitely being submissive.
I'm so sorry because we are live and my child is knocking at my door. So, audience, please excuse me for just a moment because this has to be an emergency for her to be knocking. I do apologize. Give me just a moment. But while I'm gone,
We can't hear you, T. We can't hear you.
I said, while I'm gone, my bad. This never happens. I swear to God. Give everybody your best sex advice for 2022.
Best advice for 2022 is real simple. It's go all in. Don't be inhibited by anything somebody told you, something somebody said. Do what you want to do, but do it safely. That's the main thing. You want to be safe. Make sure you had your COVID test, your STD test, and the HIV test. Make sure they're clean. But yeah, definitely do what it is that you want to do. You only live one life. There are no redos. It is not a dress rehearsal. Do it.
And she's right.
And now back to our
Whatever she
regularly
said is
scheduled
right.
program.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys.
My advice was simple. It was just like, do it. Feel
Right.
free. Let go. Yeah.
And so I asked for the best sex advice for this year because following the pandemic, the perception of sex, the priority of it, just our overall outlook has changed for a lot of people. Um, and then some people, I feel like they kind of forgot how to have fun with it. They forgot how it's still important to our lives.
It
Um,
really is.
yeah, it's still important to our lives. And not to say that the other things that go on in the world are not important, not to say that, but y'all, don't forget the fuck, y'all. Don't
No,
forget the
for
fuck.
real, because here's the thing about sex. It is very healthy for you. I mean, there's so many
Mhm.
healthy benefits to sex that you want to make sure that you are indulging as much as you can. I mean, even for like men, if you have an orgasm, at least an orgasm a week, that can lower your chances of getting prostate cancer. You know what I mean? There's so many things that, it's good for your teeth. right? It's good for your hair. It's good for
Oh
your
Lord.
skin.
Is
It's
this what's
good for
going
your
on with me?
respiratory
Is this what
system.
fucking did y'all? Because I got these locks and these teeth.
Yes, it's good for your respiratory system. It's good
Mhm,
for a lot of things. So
mhm.
you want to make sure that you taking care of your body, and why not have fun with it?
Why not? Exactly. A lot of people overlook the benefits of a healthy sex life. And so when I say healthy, a healthy sex life essentially can be whatever it is to you. But there are, like she said, certain things that you can do that do promote better health. And that release and the limiting your stress, the way that you can relieve pain, it's so many different things. So don't ever overlook the fact that sex is a necessity, that the orgasm that comes with it, the ejaculate, whatever you choose to call it, whether you squirt and peeing, whatever that is, it's definitely healthy. It's healthier to do
Mhm.
than to not to do. Because if you ever been
Really,
to work with a bitch who wasn't getting none, can I tell you that's a bad day at work? Okay.
it's a bad day
It's a
everywhere.
bad
It's a
day.
bad day for mankind.
It is.
It's
Oh
funny because they my people tease me when I have a spell. They're like, I get okay. Right now I'm rose gold, but before this I was platinum, and they be like, listen, can you come out of Bizarro World, please? Because I get really like ditzy, like, or you can say something to me, and I'll say the most ridiculous thing, and you're like, seriously, KiKi, how can somebody so smart say something so stupid? And I'm like, why did I say that? Because I'm
my.
deficient in vitamin D.
Listen, that backup be real, you guys. We need that.
Yeah,
We
vitamin
need
D is important.
it definitely is. So, what do you think are some of the most important experiences that you've had along the way that have shaped and molded your current outlook on sex?
I've never been around people who held, for lack of a better term, prudish
Mhm,
thoughts about sex.
mhm,
They had healthy ideas about sex and positive sex image, right?
mhm, mhm,
So I was never shamed about it was embarrassing when your mama having conversations with you.
mhm,
You like,
mhm.
no, ma, don't, right? But
Right.
ultimately, it contributed to the fact that I have a healthy view on it because I don't feel ashamed about it. It's not
Mhm,
something that I feel like, oh, it only needs to happen behind closed doors. I don't have ill. I don't have fairy tale ideas about it. You only deal with people you love.
mhm,
No,
mhm. Yeah,
no, that's not
yeah.
who you do it, right? So
Listen.
I think that having healthy, positive images around me in terms of sex was top of the list.
Most definitely. Um, in those images, I know that along the way, everybody has different types of experiences that shape and mold them. Um, I have had experiences young. And so when I am now, I don't know, almost 30, 35 years in the sex game, like it's been a long time. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like having sex younger and some of those experiences definitely turned me into a bit of a savage. Like I was on savage for about 15 to 20 years. I was on savage. I have recently retired from being a savage.
I ain't retiring.
Yeah. Y'all should be so proud of me for not
What you
taking
retiring for?
girl, because I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I got this big
But
ass job full of souls sitting over here.
you ain't gotta retire. You can go on hiatus. No.
Souls. You open that shit up like, I gotta close it back up. I'm
They didn't
carrying
need them
souls.
no way. They they didn't need them no
But I think
way.
these days they shape and mold us in a way to really have a firm understanding of who we are sexually and who our sexual self is. And so for me, my sexual self, I'm the executioner, but then I'm also your angel. I will kill you, but I'll bring you back to life. If you had to give a description or a name to your sexual self, what would that be?
Chameleon.
Shit, everywhere.
I'm a chameleon. Yeah, because I mean, I switch it up. I will switch it up in a heartbeat. I can't commit to a hairstyle, child. You think I'm gonna be stuck in one way sexually? No, 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 no. I'm gonna dress it up. I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do. Yeah, for sure, chameleon.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. And so, even in being able to switch it up physically is a plus. I know a lot of times we get kind of stale, we get kind of stagnant, men and women, we do, and we get kind of stuck in our way. But it's okay to spice it up. It's okay to change it up. And when you hear the word spice or you hear hear something new, it definitely can start on the outside. It definitely can start outside the bedroom. Even if you do head one day, no head the next day, titties up, titties down, whatever the case may be, adding a little spiciness to your scents, to your clothing, to your what have you. It's definitely how you feel outwardly or what you express outwardly would definitely play a different role for you guys in the bedroom. So just
For
take
sure.
that piece with you. I know Rodney Perry one time told me, T Gray, how many looks do you have? And I said, nigga, all of them. Okay.
All of them. All of them. I got them
Because when
all.
I
What
tell
do
you
you
that I
mean?
changed my hair like I changed my drawers, like me having locks, people are so taken back by it because they're like, what the like I changed my hair like I changed my drawers, but I was one of those women who was like, bitch, I will take you to the wig wall, who you want. And I think that that's important to keep that kind of dynamic, keep things fresh.
But the
Um,
beautiful thing about that, is that in doing that for someone else, it also helps you. You know what I mean? You have
mhm,
a lot of women who are self-conscious about their bodies. They're
mhm,
getting older, their boobs don't sit up as much as they used to, or they have stretch marks, or a C-section scar. There's certain things about us that we pay more attention to than they do, because they don't give a damn about it, really,
mhm.
right? That ain't nothing that they interested in, right?
Right, right.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, but it gives us the opportunity to step outside of who we are, right,
Mhm,
and do something different. And then it also takes away the pressure of, what are they going to think about me?
mhm.
They're going to think you're a lot of fun. Let's do this again next time. That kind of stuff. So it's not always about the other person. It always has to start with you. And when you're doing something to make you feel good, it
Mhm.
ultimately translates over to your partner. Don't be
Most
selfish, though.
do
Don't
not.
be selfish.
Most definitely. Have you ever gotten bored sexually?
Mm-mm. Well, bored with not having sex, but not while having sex. Like,
Okay.
because sometimes, I'm single, right? So
Are you
I
living that
don't
good
do,
life? Okay.
and I'm out here in Atlanta right now. So I'm into import export. I'm not trying to do anything locally here, because you don't know what you're getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes there are moments where it's not, especially like during COVID. Oh my God, I really thought I was gonna end up. I called one of my girls up one day and I was like, dude, I'm ready to risk it all. Let's get on the road. Like, let's take this road trip. I need to go handle something up in
Right.
Jersey. And she was
Right.
like,
There's some good dick up north though. Like I'm not even gonna sleep. I'm not taking nothing away from you brothers in the south over there in the wet, but up north on the east coast, Philly, New York. No, what the fuck the Philly and New York got in their water?
no, they say they had in New York, they say they had the best tap water, the best water. That's what they
Listen.
say. So maybe it's in the water. I don't know. But let me tell you something. Something about that New York, New Jersey. I'll
Mhm.
even go as far as Virginia, Pennsylvania, but it's stop in Virginia. Start going a little bit further.
Yes.
But yeah, baby, look,
Yes.
it gave me a hot flash just
Look,
thinking
because
about
there's
it.
something different about it, bitch. There's something different about it. And I'm not saying I'm no hoe, but I done fucked enough niggas to know it's something different about that shit over there.
Different. They built it. They're a little batshit crazy, but they show,
Yo, it always
they're
makes
a little
it
different.
fun. Makes it fun. All
I
righty.
love it.
So you guys, we are here on Sex Talk with T. Graye right here on WEMS Radio. We are talking to Sexpert and author KiKi Richardson in the building, having a good time, having a very fun conversation. If you are not familiar with her, make sure that you stay up and get up on everything that she's doing. You can follow her at KiKi Richardson. Make sure you check out her book, you guys, The Other Woman Code of Conduct. So let's talk just for a second about what is, well, we touched on the book, we touched on the behind, this what's really behind it and what the message is. Sexually, other women, we come in, we got our bag. What you think we need to have in our go bag? What sexual items, objects do we need to carry to keep our conduct in order? What we need in our go bag?
I actually have what I call an EPK. Most people think an EPK is an electronic press kit, but it's an emergency. It's an emergency kit on this end, right? So it's an emergency preparedness kit. You want to make sure that you always have things to make sure you're clean, right? And you smell good and that you're fresh. I don't know how many times I've heard conversations from men who have said things about hygiene on women. And I never could understand that. But clearly, if there are more than, a lot of people who are talking about it that are unrelated, and they, make sure there's always something good in there. You always want to make sure that you have something fun. You want something, you keep something in there that's going to engage all five senses. Think about that anytime you enter into an experience. Engage all five senses.
Yes. And you guys, we talked about that. We talked about the five senses sexually. So you all hit my YouTube, play that shit back. But continue.
No. That's the best way to make sure that you're rounding out that little go bag. You always know, you're gonna have your little clothes and all that good stuff, and you're gonna have perfume if you wear perfume. But you need to always engage those five senses. If it's a short quickie, if it's a long-term one, if whatever it is, engage the five senses. If you can do that, you're gonna win.
Oh, you guys, what y'all putting in y'all bags? First off, we're adding that to our questions for 2022. What's going in your go bag that illuminates all five senses? That's going to be important. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. T. Gray's gonna do this shit off the top of her head. Let me tell you what I'm bringing. Okay. So for smell goods, I got some shit over here that'll blow your mind. Okay, this goddamn Jimmy Choo will do you. But I also keep a lot of different shea butters and things of that nature. So not only, of course, you guys wash your ass, start there. But once I've washed, I do a base that has like a honey cranberry scrub that softens my skin. I do that, rinse that, I'm nice and soft. Then I do a shea butter that is passion fruit. I got a homegirl that makes it, put that shit, smells amazing. And let me tell you all this little thing that T. Graye does. I don't know if other women do it, because I know a lot of women, we want to put stuff everywhere. When I put things on, it's here and here. I don't put nothing directly on my nipples because I don't want the person to taste my perfume or my lotion or whatever unless it's meant to be edible. That's my personal. You do whatever you like. But definitely start with the base. I definitely start with my body, a lot of lotions, shades, and then my outer is where my perfumes. And I have perfumes for seasons. I have perfumes for occasions. I have perfumes with pheromones. I have stuff without. I got some perfume that'll get me pregnant. I don't bring that out often.
I don't. You can keep that shit. You need to put that in a box and lock it.
And burn it, right? No, but definitely Tantalizing the senses doesn't even have to be just what you do for your body. You can bring something to keep the room aromatic. Be mindful that a lot of different essential oils add to your sexual experience. A lot of different things that you can burn in your room open up those senses, opens up your chakras. Once you open up your legs, those things they culminate and they make for a very good experience. So T Gray's gonna have something that smells good in the room, and I'm gonna have something that definitely smells good on me. We're gonna tackle that. Taste. I might
Wait,
have a
wait. Before you do the taste, let me since you're talking about scents, just so you
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
men are typically attracted by there's been surveys and there have been tests, and I could be all nerdy and tell you who and where to find the studies, but um,
Okay.
pumpkin. Men typically
Mm.
are attracted to pumpkin and lavender.
Oh,
Yeah, pumpkin and lavender.
jot
Yeah.
this shit down. Okay.
And then also, when you are wearing fragrances, try to put them on your pulse points because
Mhm.
that helps to emit naturally along with your pheromones.
So is that
So
here?
behind the
Here?
ears, your wrist,
Mhm,
inside the elbow,
mhm,
behind the knee, places like that. Those are all places where your pheromones naturally come from. So when you
mhm.
add those fragrances to it, it helps to heighten. So just a little tip for you.
Yes, indeed. And you know what I've noticed too? Um, I will put perfume at the base of my back. And not that everybody is into this, but if you flip this bitch over and you come up,
Mm,
once you get over that ass, I'm like having my ass licked from time to time. But once you get over that ass and oh,
nothing
that
wrong
shit
with
is send
that.
you back down into a whole nother tantrum. I'm trying to tell you. Just
There's
it takes
nothing
you
wrong
to
with a little toss
oh
salad
my
every
God,
now and
there's
again.
something
A
about
rim
that.
job, sometimes a rim job will do you.
Yeah, that little base of the back don't me.
Saying your
But
taste, you
definitely,
said
and
you did.
because yeah, and because I had some size on me, you guys, T Gray lifts up that fupa. So real quick for the women who don't, can you start, please? Can you
You get a fupa?
just do yes, put that thing up, make sure it's dry there,
Oh,
and
sure.
either do a light powder so that it remains dry, or do your light, your butters, your oils, your whatever. It's okay to massage the outer pubic area with your oil, your what have you. You know what I mean? Without insertion, because of course you don't want it to go
Mm.
inside your vagina. But I know that sometimes, like you said, some men may mention, hey, there's an odor, there's hygiene. A lot of women who got some size on them, they forget about that fupa and that space under there. Tackle that space. That space is important because
It's
once you lay
it's
back, you
important.
about to get some head. That's what, if you're not fresh there, that's what the person is getting. That's what's hitting them right in the face and the eye and the nose is what's happening there. So don't
So
ignore
let me do a disclaimer then. When I
it.
say engage all five senses, I mean in a positive way.
Amen.
I
Amen.
think some things, I assume that people would get that, but you know what? Let me take
Mhm.
that back. I want to be clear. You want to engage them in a positive way. You don't
Yes.
want, if your name ain't Funk Master Flex, you shouldn't be bringing funk
You
into the
should
room. I'm just,
not. You should not. And so
just
for
no.
taste, for me, I may have something that you can actually eat. I am into certain aphrodisiacs. I know a lot of people love the chocolate in the bedroom or your strawberries or what have you. That's beautiful. Do whatever you like with them. But I also like things on my body. There's nothing wrong with taking you a nice tour of the sex shop, toy shop. Find you something that is definitely hyperallergenic, has a flavor, and put it on your spots that you want to be ate until have
And
full
and
off the buffet. You know.
and you want them all water based too.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Water
That's
based.
important. So be
Yeah.
mindful when you want to taste like something or give your mate a certain something else. You can definitely do that. Definitely different candies and things like that you can add, you can do during the fellatio, but be mindful of what you choose to do. But then also playing around with different edible things with your partner can definitely heighten your sexual experience. It could be a lot of
Hmm.
fun. I know some people like, oh, I don't want no food in the bedroom, but you ain't tried. Try it. You might have fun, or just get you inedible. Have your edible 45 minutes before.
Again, we're talking about engaging our five senses. If you're it's an edible. Come on, the trick to the game is to be creative, right?
Yes.
We're talking about spicing things up. We're talking about doing something a little different. Be creative. If you're engaging somebody's five senses, yeah, okay, you got the smell, so it doesn't necessarily have to be on you. You said,
Right.
it can be in the room, right? It's something that engages the taste. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that they're licking off of you. It can actually be something that they taste, right? And then, there's the touch. When you're doing massages, you can have there are massage oils that are edible as well, that have taste. So, there are different ways. Be creative, please.
Yes.
Be creative.
Yes. And if you want to add something with the touch, so my go bag, I have sex dice. And sex dice have been around for forever, but they're a very cheap and fun way to add spice, especially if you're dealing with touch with your partner. Once you roll those dice, there could be different places that you touch, different places that you massage, different places that you manipulate in other ways along the body. A lot of people aren't necessarily into tantra, but adding things of that nature to the bedroom will definitely help when you pace yourself with your partner, when you take your time. If I can only dust you with this feather today, and then tomorrow I can tickle it. Those things add to a build up, add to a magnificent level of intimacy with you and your partner. And so your touch doesn't just have to be how I manually put my hands on you. Your touch can be with other objects and other things to really get your partner excited. And if you aren't in a position to really try, or you're scared, start small. You don't have to get the biggest shit you find. You don't. You can start with something small. You can start with the little vibrators. You can start with something that's silicone, that's pliable, before you move up to your beautiful glass objects. You can start small. But the goal is to not only, like she said, have something that engages all five senses, but to definitely make it fun. I would like for everybody to be able to try at least one thing new, you guys, this year. Get back to me, hit me in my DM, send me a message.
Pick it once a week.
Yeah,
and you can even flip it like this. You can say, if I want to engage this week, I want to engage the senses of smell. If next week you want to do the senses of taste, and the week after that, you know what I mean? That's 5 weeks of different type of fun that you have just now elevated your game. You ain't got to all do it at one time, right?
Amen.
You can just kind of spread it out. And before you know it, boom, that's 5 weeks of great sex.
Yes. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna see you 5, bitch, and I'm gonna raise you 2. Because if you all focus only on foreplay 1 week ahead and afterplay 1 week after, boom, that's 7. That's damn near 2 months of fucking.
That's
and
2 months.
Pay us, okay? Because we just got y'all fucking for 2 months. Okay?
My Cash App is.
Okay, because a lot of people aren't. They're missing the mark, and I would like
a lot of people
to be able to have more excitement and be, more courageous. And I have so many discussions, even here on this show, even though this is a very open show. I've had discussions with people who are in their 40s, never masturbated, never touched themselves, never really learned their bodies. I've had discussions with people who, when you ask them what their deal breakers are, the list of deal breakers is longer than the list of what they will do in the bedroom. So we want for you to definitely begin to engage, begin to try some things new. If you all didn't learn nothing else these past couple of years, that whole term life is too short. It's some real shit, but so is your sex life, because you don't fuck your whole life. At some point, you stop. Now,
and you have to have a balance.
Yeah,
you have to have a balance. A lot of people, pre-COVID, they spent a lot of energy focused on work and the kids and this and that and this and that, and their life was out of balance. One thing COVID did was it allowed people to slow down and put things in perspective. So you're multifaceted. You're not just a machine that goes to work to make money and do these things. And you're just not just mom to run and do. You have to make sure that you're nurturing that sexual portion of your life, because that's the most creative force within you. That's where all creativity comes from.
Right.
So, and creativity doesn't have to mean that you're a comedian, you're an artist, you're a writer, you're an actress. That's not that. Creativity in and of itself is the birthplace of all things. All things that may give you that idea where, you know what, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but now you have this brainchild that you now can work on, because now your creative juices have been engaged, they have been ignited.
Okay, so
Someone is asking a question. I don't
listen,
know
that's
what
what
it
I was
is.
just
We
about to
yelling.
tap on because I'm just seeing this. He says, "Stop talking and answer my question." So,
What's the
John,
question?
first off, John, I don't even see your question. So,
Yeah,
how
how's that?
about how about we be respectful to these beautiful queens on this show? And
It's like, how you gonna say stop talking? It's a talk show.
because right before he says that, he says, "Please, um,
Okay,
please
please.
stop
I don't know
talking."
what the question is,
Which,
baby. I'm not
yes,
ignoring you on purpose.
indeed, we wouldn't do that, but your question is in here. So feel free to ask your question again. We will give you an honest answer, if nothing else. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
so I try to definitely make sure that the audience gets their stuff
sure,
on time.
sure.
On time. Isn't it? It was oversight. John,
His
maybe you
look,
got
his
too
question is
excited.
important to him, and we want to make sure. He was like, my question. He yelled
Listen
that.
with the capital letters, like now you. Oh, John
Oh,
is
I
a
see why it's
freak.
important. I see why it's important.
He
Okay.
says he reaches his climax too fast.
Okay. Too
Um,
fast is relative. So I'm gonna need a little bit more clarity on terms of what
definitely,
is too fast.
definitely.
Um,
So yeah, and if
and
he
is it all the time? Is it when certain type of stimulation? I have those. I need to kind
no,
of
because
narrow
it
down so
definitely
I can
makes a
tell you what.
difference. It definitely
Yeah,
makes a
I need to.
difference whether or not are you masturbating and it's too fast. Are you in
Is he
um
saying 1 second, like hold on, or he's saying is like 1 second is and
it's
he's popping his
and
lid?
maybe he's finished in a second. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
more like 1 to 2 minutes every time. Is this when you're actually having sex? Like, are you penetrating someone, or is this during masturbation? Because that too would make a difference. And then how often you masturbate might also play a role in your level of
Here's
sensitivity.
Well, it's also happening. He's reaching the climax phase a little faster. There are 4 phases. So what he may be doing is focusing on one phase a little longer than necessary. And
Hmm.
and by the time he gets to the point where to have a climax, it seems like it's a lot quicker.
Hmm.
So also, I don't know this, I don't know all the details, but I'll give you a little trick. If you're going to go have sex with somebody, I don't know if you're married or you have a girlfriend or whatever, what I suggest you do is before you get there, like before you get in the car and you roll out, or you know
Hmm.
she on her way or whatever, you need to rub one out,
Yes.
because that's going to get that one out the way, that quick one
Yes.
out the way,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so now you have a new refractory period where you have a chance to build up that sexual energy, and
Hmm.
you can build back up. And so that typically will give you a little bit more time.
Hmm.
If you know that you're going to, if once you penetrate, it's going to be, pop off, then you may want to make sure you focus a little less on your stimulation and her stimulation more,
Hmm.
so that by the time that happens, she's not like, you done, right? Like,
Yeah,
wait,
most
we just
definitely.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And then
there are a
there
couple
are
of things.
also, go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Go
you go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, I'm sorry. The delay. Go ahead.
You go.
And so there are also products and mechanisms that also help. So you can use certain creams and gels to desensitize yourself. I don't know how much that will work for you. And then if you are penetrating somebody, cock rings also help to allow the process to last a little bit longer. So you can also try those things as well. But again, like she said, if you're focusing on one part more so longer than the other, I believe that in that in the climax having 4 phases, then you can begin to kind of train yourself otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
here
it
here's
doesn't help to do a little research. Go ahead.
yeah, here's another thing. There are other, like she said, using the cock ring, but it's because you've become accustomed to it happening so quickly. If you have that blood flow that's being helping you to stay erect longer, you may start to enjoy that a little more, and you may use it too much and it can cause damage. So make
Mhm.
sure that you're not doing it all the time, right? Because you don't want to cause yourself any problems in the long term. But
Mhm.
what we want to do is make sure that we're focusing a little bit more on how you're getting to that point where you're
Mhm.
going so quickly, so that we can kind of uh, you know pick out what we can do to alleviate certain things. But I will say to you, um, are you able to, after you go that 1-2 minutes and then you go, how quickly are you able to re-up, or are you just done after that? Because that
Yeah,
will give me an
that's
indication too.
that's a big one. Being able to recoup. But I would think that, and now clearly, y'all, I ain't got no dick because I'm guessing, but I would think that if you come that fast, that you would probably be able to come again quickly. That's just, I don't know why. Like some people I know, you get that one out and then you last a little bit longer. But if you telling me 1 to 2 minutes, it seemed like you would want to naturally try again. Is that next time also 1 to 2 minutes?
Well, just because he was able to he comes faster doesn't mean that he's going to recover faster. Some of it can be testosterone based. He may have a little, what I mean. So if a
Mm-hmm.
man has less testosterone, it's going to take him longer in
Mm-hmm.
order to get that recovery. So there are a couple of other physiological things that are happening. That's why I'm asking the questions that I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking, because I want to be able to
Yeah.
kind of point you in the right direction. But um, again, there could be some things in terms of what you're eating that can even be contributing to
Yeah.
that problem. So again, there are a lot of little things that come into play. It's not that there's something wrong with you, it's just a matter
Right.
of pacing yourself and figuring out what's what. Again, if you're hypersensitive, you want to stay away from being
Extra stimulants and things of that nature.
stimulated as
Mm-hmm.
quickly,
Mm-hmm.
or as long.
And so low T is actually pretty prevalent in this discussion. And we probably look at to bring you back, talk about this a whole nother day, because so many men don't get checked for their testosterone level. But a lot of times, if you look at the symptoms or the side effects of low testosterone, you probably have this checklist where you're fatigued, you might not have as much energy, your stamina's not the
Mhm.
same. In the bedroom
Your
again,
erection,
like it
your
takes
erection isn't even
longer.
as hard. Your erection
Right.
isn't even as
Take,
hard.
yeah, most definitely. It take longer for you to ejaculate, or when you do, the quality or the quantity is not sufficient, or what not what you're used to, things of that nature. Your urination, the things like, it's a lot of things that low testosterone will affect.
Mhm.
So definitely, you want to have that check. Don't think that, hey, because my man is supposed to be like this forever. It doesn't, and it's okay. It's a totally natural thing that occurs over time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's all
And
right
I
there.
don't know how old he is either. So there could be a couple of things. You know what I mean? Like you said, low testosterone, sometimes there are prostate issues when you get older. It doesn't mean that you got prostate cancer, but sometimes,
Mhm.
a lot of times men don't realize that their pelvic floor needs to be exercised as much as our pelvic floor does,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We talk about our Kegel muscles all the time. They
Right.
still have to do exercises as well in order to keep theirs together. And then, of course, like we talk about the low testosterone, it can make your erection not be as strong. It can,
Mhm.
make
Mhm.
you pre-ejaculate, early ejaculation. There, what you're eating, your diet, what you're drinking, there are a lot of things that can come into play. But men especially don't want to go do that because they feel like it's somehow a bump to their manhood. But what's a bigger bump to your manhood is when she like,
I'm done.
right?
Yeah,
Go to the
I'm
doctor and
done.
get it figured out,
Let me
right?
know when you get finished.
Right, right. To quote me.
Definitely. That's funny. I'm gonna tell somebody that just on a whim, just So I definitely hope that we were able to help you. And then if you want to make sure that you get more information, Kiki, do you have a website where people can go to and see everything that you have going on?
You can always hit me on Instagram at KiKi Richardson. Send me a message. You know, I do coaching and things of that nature too. So I'm not a sex surrogate. So I won't stand in place for you, but I will we there are some things that we can do in terms of finding out, getting to the root cause. So KiKi Richardson on Instagram.
Alrighty. And so, you guys, this has been a fantastic show. I certainly hope to see you all next week. It's going to be another dope episode of Sex Talk with T Grand WEMS Radio. I do believe we have Floss the Mac coming through. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Want to make sure that we try to educate you guys along the way. Okay, you guys make sure that you are jotting things down for your sexual bucket list. Begin to, like Kiki said, when you pack your go bags, make sure that you are tantalizing and engaging all five senses. Even if you have to make yourself a checklist every week, try something different. Add some spontaneity, add a little fun, a little spice to the bedroom, you guys. I want to see all of you fucking, okay? Hashtag do it until you die. Alrighty, we will be right here next week on WEMS Radio. This is Sex Talk with T. Gray. Bye bye.